What, Pogs, are you from New York? Probably not.
Originally from Chicago.
Ah, it makes sense. That makes sense. I could see that. Dude, I went there for the first time in around Thanksgiving. My gosh, that place is beautiful. I like it a lot. As a city, I think it's probably one of the prettier ones. I would argue better than New York.
Only in the summer.
I went in November. It was so fucking cold, but it was so good. It was pretty cool. It snowed for 30 minutes. It was great. It was nice. Well, hey, I've got some interesting questions. First question that I wanted to ask you guys, because I personally think this is going to happen. But obviously, after Sunday's race, Ferrari is like on fire. Do you think they're both gonna DNF at some point in one race? I have no idea what Wally's saying. I'm not hearing a thing.
You asked if Ferrari's going to DNF each other? Is that what the question is?
Not necessarily DNF each other, but if they're both gonna DNF in the same race.
I mean, from all accounts, it sounds like the Ferrari engine is going to be one of the most reliable ones. I wouldn't assume that they're going to both have reliability issues in the same race. I don't think you'll see like a Red Bull Honda engine disaster like last weekend, but
Yeah, I'm hoping not. Do you think? What's that, Wally?
Me now.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, better. It still cuts out every once in a while, but better.
I don't know what that is. I was messing with the settings in here.
Yeah, it's definitely better now.
I hope Ferrari doesn't DNF because I went all in for him on fantasy. With Ferrari.
Oh, you're biased. Got it.
McLaren and Lando are still my boys, but I went with the tactical, strategical, consistency-based fantasy team.
I guess that's fair. I mean, I've bet on Ferrari a lot too. It makes me so sad to see how bad the McLarens are doing. I think they're both going to DNF. And if I was to pick a race, I'm going to guess Spa. Yep, I'm going to guess Spa.
To go back to the fantasy league, I don't know who was running the one from last season or what ended up happening in that, but I do believe I owe somebody a pair of underwear with George Russell's face on it because I think that was the prize I was thinking about. Last year we found it was like $36. So if we don't have anybody that will claim that prize, even though I'm not in the fantasy league this season, I will happily put that up for a prize again this year.
Hell yeah!
Nobody claimed it from last season. I will get the George Russell underwear, or like the face on the underwear for whoever wins it.
Can you ask George Russell to wear it before you give it away?
I want to keep him then.
Yeah, Pogs would want to keep him. Yeah, I think that's his boy. If I had to guess, that or Pogs is like a really big Yuki Tsunoda fan.
I am a really big Yuki Tsunoda fan. Actually, I'm a bigger Pierre Gasly.
Oh,
I love Pierre Gasly.
Really?
That's forever. Yeah, for sure. AlphaTauri is my team for sure.
Why? I gotta know.
I just drawn to him. Like I hate how he got shit on in Red Bull. I was rooting so hard for him every race after he got demoted. I just like Pierre Gasly. I also like all the weird drivers though. Like so when we first started this league, I was the only one. Cam would light me up constantly because I just loved Roman Grosjean. I loved. I would tell Cam how I think the best driver. I just rattle him, but I would tell him how I think Lance Stroll's the best driver on the grid.
That's funny.
I mean, that was just a rattle. But like, I do like the weirdos. Like, if we're just gonna be honest, I like the weird F1 drivers like that.
Like Sebastian Vettel, he's pretty weird.
Yeah, but he's too good. I like the ones that are actually shitty.
That's fair. Like Fernando Alonso. Yeah. Kidding. That's a hot topic for people. They get mad at me for that.
Not kidding.
Right? I don't think he's that good.
I mean, he's had some moments
Mhm.
since he came back from retirement, but
Mhm.
when you could kind of say it's maybe not, he's not up to par on the new cars, but I just think it's more he's not as competitive as how competitive F1 is now compared to what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it's really funny, like when people say something like as silly as Alonso's better than Hamilton. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if people know how to read numbers, but I see way more numbers in front of or behind Lewis Hamilton's name than I do behind Alonso's name. For a reason. And it's not because his car was better. I mean, when they were in the same car together, the only way Alonso could beat Lewis was if he held him up at the pit so Lewis didn't get a freaking quali lap. And that was when Lewis was a child. A literal child. He was like 24.
If it weren't whole Ferrari and McLaren cheating scandal, definitely would have won a championship his rookie season.
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, no doubt. That would have been incredible. Like, who's done that before? Nobody ever. I feel like somebody has. Pogs, you strike me as an F1 historian. I don't know. You're old, so I feel like you know stuff. Do you know if there's ever been anybody who's won an F1 championship their first year?
Got you.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe back when, but nothing. I wouldn't assume anybody's done it recently. So I mean, I assume somebody. It's possible, but I mean, nothing in recent memory.
Yeah, I think it may happen someday. If I was to pick one person who I think had the best chance to do it, it was probably Nikita Mazepin. He was an unsung talent. Oh, Pogs, did you like Nikita Mazepin?
You know that one's a little tough to like, but it is. It's so difficult, like for us being Americans, not to root for Haas, even though they're an evil fucking Russian enterprise. But it's still, you like, at least I can speak for myself. It's hard not to watch on Sundays and still root for them. Like,
Yeah,
it just pulls at you a little bit, even though like they've done every anti-American thing you could possibly do. But it's still hard to to not pull for them. But
I must agree. I mean, for me, I really don't give too much of a crap anymore about the championship because for me, I really want Lando to win, and I'm like, all right, I've pretty much lost hope already within the first 2 hours of racing, and so I now just care if Kevin Magnussen does well, and nothing else matters to me whatsoever.
K-Mag
Yeah,
is for sure. I think he's going to be, if not, he's going to finish right outside the top 5 this season.
really? Top 5?
But it's only been one race. I know. But to leave F1, come back and have what? 3 days in a brand new car?
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else. Well, I mean, he qualified what? 7th?
Yeah, murdered. Qualified 7th, finished 5th.
He was going to...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What'd you say?
Would have finished 7th instead of 5th if the Red Bulls didn't retire, but I mean, still.
Yeah, to hold your own in and of itself, to hold quality to the end of the race is sick. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Also, I do want to say, Rage Quit, thanks for rating. Welcome to the freaking MRL Media Show. Hi, Jess. Hi, Stone. Hey, Wally, Boots, you guys have a fan? It's your boy, Stone.
Yeah, he joined today.
Yes.
I saw him in there, and I was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
Yes.
all right, you gotta watch.
He's hanging out.
He came in and it hopped in.
I do also want to ask you guys, back to the league stuff. We're a few races in. We're like 5 races in right now, right? In tier 1, Pogs and I from an outsider perspective, you two from an insider perspective, who deserves the Stay Away From Me award so far?
To be fair, my DNFs were my fault. I don't think I messed anyone else up.
Yeah, that's the question. Who's messing other people up?
Oh, man. I don't mean this in a bad way, and I'm not saying he deserves this award, but Ace is glitchy on my screen almost every single time. It always scares me.
Poor guy. I know.
Yeah,
You know, like, oh, sorry.
I was gonna ask you, Pogs. What do you think?
I mean, the folks that were scaring me are the guys that recently switched, you know, within the last few months from controller to wheel. So, so like B Coles, who was incredibly quick, you know, a controller switching to a wheel, you know, you could still probably get a little danger out of that. Jim just switched to a wheel
Just
last
switched.
week. Yeah, so that's always, you know, that's frightening. White Columbians finally looks like he's starting to get a good hold on the wheel.
Mhm.
But like I remember, you know, because I spent a lot of time in the back last season, you know, being scared of him when he does wheel. Don't laugh because I still beat you. But, yeah, so those kind of guys always, you know, freak me out. Is like the guys that switched from a controller to a wheel, like because it, you know, they mentally can do it, but then it's like it's translating that, you know, your
Mhm.
hands and braking and like all that into an actual, you know, like something that you're using instead of just your thumbs, right? And so like those are the guys that always freak me out doing that. But I'm glad to see that people are doing it because obviously, you know, that way brings way more enjoyment when you're racing on Sunday, when you're able to, you know, get into a rig and like, you know, you really feel like it's something special, especially our league, you know, it's once a week.
Yeah.
You know, like anything that like, you know, brings that excitement, you know, is really cool. And I'm glad that, you know, I assume that I have personally raised a lot of funds for a lot of big companies from this league with guys going out and buying, you know, fucking wheels and peripherals and
I know,
you
right?
know, like I mean, which is cool. Like I'm happy like guys are out going out and doing it, but yeah. But anyways, so those are the guys that kind of freak me out. Is like the controller guys that jump to wheel like mid season are like absolutely terrifying.
Pogs, are you saying you want like an affiliate link from Fanatec or something like that? Because I think they give them out, bro. Honestly,
I can't buy anything else. Like we're like, you know, we're so far past that. Like yeah, once you go out and do it, like once you really have done it, like then you can breathe. Because I like it's so funny watching guys because then they'll start off on something small and everybody's done it that does this. They're on something small and then you're like, you know, ooh, new shiny thing, new shiny thing, new shiny thing, and all of a sudden you have just wait in your living room. You know, so
wait, did you say some $1,000 worth of Legos in your living room?
yeah, that's what I said.
Wait, how many thousands of dollars do you have of Legos in your living room?
Not Legos, pun. I'm not you. I do
Oh,
remember you thinking about Legos recently.
I
Instead
was
of racing,
I was very
you get.
excited. I was
Did
like,
you
hell yeah.
did you see Debo's message in your chat? He said, "I turned my controller like a wheel."
Basically, yeah. So, like you do in the play, like you know how PlayStation actually lets you do that? Did you know that?
Dude, going into certain corners, I'm like,
Same,
every time.
same, dude. When I'm on my VR headset, I feel myself leaning into stuff all the time, especially when I play on open wheel cars. Oh my gosh, I lean in like a maniac.
I mean, you're way more immersed in it.
Yeah, but I've noticed like when it comes to like the sim racing world, if you are like trying to become a pro sim racer and really good at sim racing, you should not get a VR headset, even if you're playing iRacing and that stuff. Triple monitor is always the way to go if you want to be a sim racer. But if you want to learn how to become a better real life driver, VR is absolutely the way to go. There are like a ton of like really fun videos I've seen online where it's like they take these pro VR drivers and put them in a race car versus pro sim drivers that use triple monitor and put them in a race car. And the ones that are on VR, neither of them touched race cars before. The ones that are on VR destroy the sim guys, especially in wheel-to-wheel racing, because you actually have a sense of there's an inner sense of consequence when you're in VR, more than there is when you're on a triple monitor, and it makes you like way more cautious. It's very interesting. I'm excited for F1 to get VR next season. Wait,
Hopefully try.
say that again. Wait, say that again, Wally.
I said I can't wait to watch that. It's going to be so cool.
It's gonna be freaking fun. Boots, have you ever tried VR?
Never. Except for going down to a local go-kart track that had VR in there and you shoot zombies and stuff, but that's about it.
Oh, that's fun. Was it K1 Speed or Octane Raceway or something like that?
What was it? Extreme karting?
They closed down though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just at a
go kids on the go-karts all the time.
go-karting track on Tuesday. Yeah, I went go-karting on Tuesday, and I set the weekly record for the speed for the lap record on my first time out. And then the second time out, I was like, all right, I'm gonna beat that time. I was like, I have at least a half a second in there. Because the monthly record was about like 3/4 of a second faster. I was a little mad. So I tried to go faster, but then I got caught behind a bunch of high schoolers, and I literally got caught in this sandwich of high school kids just hitting me from front to back over and over and over again. I was like a freaking bumper ball, dude. It was terrible. It was awful.
We're going to Branson in May, I think. And I told Claire, I was like, we're going to the go-kart place there because they go like 60 miles an hour. And you have to do like the whole test in the slower one to drive the faster one. And I was like,
whoa. Yeah, you got to go to that. That's awesome. Well, hey, I do also want to ask you guys, since, 3 out of 4 of us have an admin role, and Boots has had a challenging season. What has been your biggest challenge this season as a driver and then also as a league admin? Pogs, I want to ask you, as a driver and also as a league admin, what has so far been your biggest challenge?
I think from a driving perspective, I have had more mistakes this season. Just dumb. Like I believe I have 3 drive-through penalties.
Oh yeah,
I jumped a start.
The first one in our league history.
I jumped a start in my entire life. Like I had a lot of weird. Like it's like once I went to tier 2, I was like, I had lost all sensibility on how to race again, and it was absolutely embarrassing. But when you've been doing this long enough, like that stuff should sort itself out. I was really cognizant of the deltas, like the last time out. Just kind of gotta, it got kind of. I think it's a different environment, right? I was used to racing with the same, 15 guys every season for the last, for 2 years now. And then all of a sudden, I'm racing with a couple guys that I've raced with before, right? So it's a whole different vibe when I switched out there. From an admin or from, the league director, perspective, it's actually gone. This season has gone pretty smooth, we really haven't had a ton of issues. We haven't had a lot of meltdowns. We do a really good job of providing like a consistent structure for folks to race in. We don't change very often. We don't make sweeping changes. We really focus on being consistent across the board, right? So that's why you don't see, us racing on 4 nights a week and, 15 different leagues and that sort of thing, right? We try to deliver one product, one experience for every driver in the league, and this is the level that we've figured out that we can maintain these Sundays, right? So Sundays feel like a big deal for everybody. So yeah, so as far as the challenge goes, though, I would love to fill tier 3 up. Like I want to get the next 3 or 4 drivers. I want to have the 3 full grids. I'm happy where we're at. We won't force anything, but yeah, I'd love to bring in a few more guys. Keep all the tiers as full as possible going out the season. That's always a challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's probably been the biggest challenge so far, is just keeping a full consistent grid, but everybody's really been chill, right? Like we've had, people. It's racing. Everybody's always going to get testy, from time to time. Like
Oh, what
it's
are you
just
talking about?
it's part of it, right? But we haven't had any major blowouts, right? We haven't had any.
Oh yeah, I remember
Um,
watching one when I
we
first
haven't-
joined my first season.
yeah, we haven't had any Scratas. We haven't
Yeah,
had any. What's their name? JP and Seabass moments. I don't know if that predates you. Like
that was
we
right as
haven't
I
had
started.
anything. Yeah, right. So we haven't had anything absolutely like wild like that. So that I'm very appreciative. Everybody's like been really good. So like very, obviously we want to get racing as cleaned up as possible. We try to maintain that.
Hmm.
And it does generally get better throughout the season.
Yeah,
But if you just take a look at tier one, it was a little wild in the first few weeks. The last week was probably some of the best racing I've seen across the 4 seasons.
it was incredible. I do also want to say it's funny because you are saying such nice things like there's been no meltdowns, everyone's been super cool and calm. And then the amount of times that I've been added in chat is just really painful emotionally, I will say. That, that
No.
was like, I am the meltdown champion.
Punji raging in China, wheel smack of the season so far.
Absolutely. Well, it wasn't even a wheel smack, dude. I literally kicked my clutch pedal in because my it's amazing. My clutch pedal's got a great spring. So when when I get mad, it is the perfect thing to kick because it just comes right back, no harm. It's amazing.
Listen, there's a difference though. There's a
Exactly.
difference between being
Big
pissed off in
difference.
the moment and going into the chat and telling everybody they're fucking terrible, nobody knows what they're doing, and you're
Huge
like
difference.
everything, right? So like even we when we get streams up, I'll scream at everybody.
No,
told
I've heard your stream.
I remember telling White Colombian that like I fucking hated his fucking guts. It's the worst piece of shit that I've ever seen. I was like, I really do like you, but this was really shitty, right? This is like, or something like that, right in the middle of a race, right? So like, there's a difference
All
between the
the
heat of the moment shit, or then me going into Discord chat and being like, you're fucking. I hope your cat dies or something. You know what I mean? So like,
Jesus Christ. Whoa.
we haven't had any of that, right? So like, that's the part that I'm appreciative of.
Yeah, agreed. It's like when I was getting so mad at WebC and yeah, I was getting pissed. I messaged him afterwards. It's like the hard feelings is racing. He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm way worse sometimes." I said, "Perfect." It's all loud at the end of the day, as long as like you said, like you're not bringing it to the Discord. It's all fun, and it also makes the steward jobs way more fun because you guys get to review our clips and hear it. So that's probably pretty fun. Speaking of which, Wally, what's been your biggest challenge this year as a driver and also as an admin?
driver is just finding consistency because like I'm not the fastest, but I know for the most part I can keep up with maybe depending on the track, kind of top of the midfield, maybe not just generally the midfield, but it's just the consistency I got to find of not DNFing 3 times in a row or just my racecraft in a way, just knowing when to pick and choose my moves, when to do them, when to not do them, stuff like that. And as an admin or a steward,
Yeah, you're a brand new steward. You have an interesting perspective.
You have reports from this week?
yeah. I still haven't done them yet. I have to do them tonight. But stewarding's not bad. It's not hard. I mean, you definitely bias. I mean, you just have to look at it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which at the same time, I think, in a way, kind of racing, just because you'd be like, oh, this isn't going to be a good move if I go for it. There's been a few clips, a few incidents this season so far that it's been really hard to judge whether someone's actually at fault or if it's more a racing incident. and I truly understand where Mod comes from now when he says some things. Mainly, and this is 100% directed at everybody. Now that I know the pain, please read. Make things much easier when we don't have to tell everyone 5 times. But it really is an admin. So far I haven't really had any problems. It's been pretty smooth sailing. I think the direction the league is going is a good direction as far as the way it's growing and how it's growing. I love it. So haven't really had too many problems so far as a steward, thankfully.
Good. Hey, well, we know 2 people that get penalized extra hard from now on. It's going to be Echo and Aero Zohan because they refuse to read. So make sure you give them an extra penalty point every single time they have an incident. I think it's pretty fair. Boots, what do you think? I mean, like, you've had an interesting start. You're tier 1, which I know when you first got in, you weren't expecting it. How do you feel so far?
I enjoy the coming up with guys that are way faster, but the change for me is going to no traction control, and that's been my biggest thing, is trying to learn that.
That's
and then I don't like losing. Of course, I never won last year, but I finished in the points like every single race last year.
Yeah,
I haven't done it, and we're 5 races in, and I probably spun out more times in these 5 races than I did all last year. So I put a lot of pressure on myself about that, but I'm getting better. I only spun, I think, once last weekend. So that's a big win for me.
Yeah, I'd say it's a dub. I'm fully committed that within the next 3 races, I will just turn traction control off entirely and be done and learn. And so I know that, obviously I've had the challenge as a driver this season for sure of finishing well consistently, which has not been fun for me. I don't like the fact that I am not on a podium every weekend. I feel like I should be. But at the same time, like, I have to put a lot more respect on people like Echo and Zohan, because, like, god damn it, they're fast. Like, I actually really have to try very hard to do well. I can be up at the top if I try really hard and stuff goes my way, but man, I've had some bad luck. It's an incredible amount of bad luck.
Season.
What's up?
Tier 1. I think we feel in tier 1. Tier 1's something else, man. Everyone in there is so damn fast.
Yeah. For me, I've got like 3 or 4 people that I'm like really fighting against week in, week out. Pogs, you're not one of them, don't worry. Kidding, Pogs. You are one of them, absolutely. And and so it's awesome. That's like there's like a solid 5 or 6 of us at the top that like are really, really, really equal and really even. But I'm not used to being in that kind of scenario, so it's pretty fun, but it's freaking challenging. And then as now having this admin role of like media director and all that kind of stuff, just it's the little pieces of admin of like forgetting to send notifications out, just the little pieces of admin. That has just been like really my main challenge, keeping on top of schedule. Whenever there aren't like crazy extraneous circumstances, it's very easy for me to keep on top of schedule, getting videos out on time, and keeping people on top of sending in clips and stuff like that. Like, that's been pretty simple, and my job's not super hard when it comes to admin stuff. Just trying to be a good face for the league whenever people come in. It's been pretty simple, but yeah, the driving's been a big challenge. That's been hard. Been struggling. Zohan's like, I want to know who's the top. Also, hi JC, thanks for the happy birthday, man. I'm gonna leave that who's at the top up to a mystery. It's my own personal opinion as to who I think is up there, but if you look at scoreboards, it's pretty obvious. That's right. That's how I say it. However, I do want to ask this. I think this is actually a pretty good question. So across all 3 tiers, there have been so many people that have talked about like doing a constructors championship for all 3 tiers combined, right? Do you think there's going to be a weekend in which all 3 tiers have one constructor or one driver from that constructor is on the podium? So like say Red Bull, is there a tier 3 podium for Red Bull, tier 2 podium for Red Bull, and a tier 1 podium for Red Bull? All in one day. Do you think that would happen? And if so, which team?
Look at the teams to answer that.
Right? I'm curious.
So
Right?
oh,
I mean,
we're gonna have
I
homework.
would say Alpine obviously has in tier 1 has Drix and Pep, and then Jay Wepsy is my Alpine teammate, and a lot of times he looks a lot faster than I do. He's just got to like put it together. I tier 3 doesn't have an Alpine driver unless I recently assigned one, which is very possible actually. I just think Jay Wright hasn't updated yet, and I can't remember off the top of my head. So I'm going Alpine with whatever new driver I put in tier 3 in Alpine. And if not, maybe I can like dip, like if we really want to just make it happen, I'll just like throw Gibbsy and Aussie or something into the Alpine in tier 3 and just let them go so we can win whatever mythical championship that's out there.
I was gonna say, don't do that to them. That's brutal. That's rude.
Just looking at just the standing so far between the tiers. I mean, tier 1, you got an AlphaTauri leading, not counting Bahrain race. Tier 2, you have an AlphaTauri in second, and tier 3, you have the AlphaTauri in first. So I'd say AlphaTauri. I mean, Mercedes. I mean, tier 1 and tier 2 have good drivers in the Mercedes. So.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Echo says that Red Bull just did it last weekend. Did they?
That's not going to be possible because I do seriously doubt. And Red Bull and you know what? It could. I keep thinking, and no offense, I keep thinking Red Bull is in tier 3 is JB and Woozy, and it's not anymore. It's Lollipops and Diego.
So Lolly got the dub last weekend. Did Gamer get on the podium last weekend?
Echo just said that he did, and then
he did. So we're just having this conversation for no reason.
Wait, did he actually? Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. No way.
He got right?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yeah, and then they got Moldy and Echo in tier 2, so Echo's won every race.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's Red Bull if we're really going to be, I mean, AlphaTauri too, but like, yeah, Red Bull might have just won.
What's funny though, if you look at the Constructors Championship, Red Bull in tier 1 is in 6th. In tier 2, they're obviously in 1st. In tier 3, they're in 4th. Yeah. So like, how?
I mean, I know obviously we haven't had the update yet from this weekend because the stewards report hasn't come out yet. So, I mean, I just can't remember off the top, but I think he could be right. I really do think that Red Bull just did it.
He could be right.
Not with the updated Bahrain points. AlphaTauri's in second in all 3 tiers for the constructors.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
It sounds like we just need Jay Wright to put in like I don't know how long Excel stuff takes. Does it take 5 minutes or 50 hours? I don't know.
Well,
we just need Righty on it to do a combined championship.
You would think that Righty would be better at it because he does Excel spreadsheets for literally everything in his life. It is incredible. Dude, he grinded his own time trials and put them all on an Excel spreadsheet.
I wonder if he had a draft list and had them like ranked in an Excel file.
Guarantee you. Absolutely guarantee you.
He probably did.
There's no way he didn't. There's literally no way. That's so funny. His name is Spreadsheet in Junior Paradox Discord. That's hilarious. I mean, it's perfect. He's got the perfect job for sure. Definitely, whoever appointed him to do the standings was a good call.
I mean, it was more or less straight apathy from myself, who did it for 2 full seasons by myself by hand, And then the third season, I was trying to like Twan was doing it, but like Twan, he's a busy man, he's an
Yeah.
adult with kids, like whatever. And so he stepped up like I think mid-season, and it was like, all right, why the fuck are you idiots doing this all by hand? Let me make this Excel file that'll take 6 minutes, and then every week it'll take 5 minutes to update it instead of you guys spending 7 hours and like getting gray hair trying to do it. So that was much appreciated.
Yeah, Talk says that he literally nerded out about Excel, which, I mean, if you can nerd out about Excel, then I think you should do that every single opportunity you get. But Zohan asked a good question. Who do we think will win the constructors in each tier? I'm at confusion. Pogs, you have more information than I do. Pep is racing this weekend, correct? Is Pep Bridle still racing? I don't even know anymore. I literally don't.
I don't have. I mean, we don't have the standings up yet. I know that he did have like a race. He had a quali ban for one. He had some issues getting into a lobby. I mean, I would assume he'll be there. If he's not there, then we'll find some type of replacement. Because I mean, just so everybody knows, especially if you don't let me know. One, let me know if you're not gonna make a race, or like at least put in the chat. Or and most of the guys do. They're like, "Hey, I won't be here this week." Okay, cool. That gives me some time. But the general rule of thumb around here has always been if you have if you miss 3 consecutive races, that seat's going to be opened. So I don't know. I don't have any inside information. We'll see this weekend who checks in, who doesn't, and that sort of thing. But like, just so folks know, that's the general rule of thumb. Obviously, if you have any extenuating circumstances, just reach out to me. I'm always pretty flexible with folks. I just like want to be make sure that folks are there's enough opportunity out there for folks that really want to be here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will say, with that open seat, or with that seat being open for the past 2 weeks and Crazy Mike getting in there, he is absolutely the most impressive reserve driver I've seen in a hot minute. Do you guys have anybody else that you think is like, wow, they're stepping up like crazy in reserve, that like really kind of came out of nowhere? Or am I the only one who's like really paying attention to him?
No, I didn't know that Yellow Snowman's good friend Sako was an actual racer until he asked me. I thought he was like literally just Snowman's sidekick, and you just hung out with him and helped him out and did whatever.
Nope.
And
That's his cousin.
I know, and then he came in and raced like in tier 3 and did well, and like I know, like I was kind of battling him, for a little while. I think last week in tier 2 before he binned it. So he was not. It was nice to see him. Like I thought he was just gonna, he was just coming in to hang out, and maybe that was his original plans. But yeah, I think he might have got sucked into the whole, into our world. So that was kind of nice to see from our reserve drivers. Reserves in general, like I think it was a really good move this season to implement. You race 3 races, and then if we got a full-time spot, I'll try to get you going, right? So that you make sure you have guys that are going to be committed before you give them full-time seats. So that's Leland's solution, and then we're able to kind of judge their pace and that sort of thing. So that was a great off season, for a league that doesn't do a lot of rule changes, a lot of different things. That was a good off season move for us to make. Was to institute that 3 race rule. But yeah, I mean the reserves have been pretty active. Obviously we still, it seems like we pick up a reserve driver or 2 every week, and some folks stay and some folks don't, and some people participate, and it's like the league does a very good job of either weeding out guys that ultimately don't want to be here or don't want to be a part of it, and bringing in guys that will. So it just kind of flows. It does it's not anything forced. It just that's the way it kind of flows. The guys that don't want to be here work themselves out, and the guys that do want to come here find a spot, and they find a home here. So
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Taco does have his own seat now in tier 2 because, yeah, he's very surprisingly good. He when I first met him, he told me he had never been in a league before. He was super nervous about the idea, and I think that's why he decided to, um, take a little bit of time to kind of ease his foot in there. But he obviously did it the way that he needed to do it, which has worked out super well in his favor because now he's kicking ass for his position, like absolutely killing it. And Snowman says that he's his protege.
I was gonna say, he's got, oh God, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Engineer. He's got a hell of a racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, Snowman actually did some engineering for me last week, and that was pretty helpful. It's so nice. It is the best. I wish there was like an efficient way for the game to be able to handle race engineering with more data than just the little crappy stuff you get off of freaking spectator view. It's just crap. Like every other, in real life, like your race engineer knows so much more. So, yeah. I know iRacing has a really good system for it. Their spotter system is incredible. This is me once again plugging iRacing being the best racing game of all time. But yeah, I mean, I do also want to ask you guys if you guys could see anything different in the world of commentary, media, fun things that we can do together as a league. What would be some fun things, like little activities you guys would want to do that we can all incorporate?
I mean, I think there's probably a few things we could do. Just kind of like, I don't know, like the one of your streams we did, like Manhunt, Last or Survive.
So fun.
That's great, dude. Like weekends off, we should do something like that.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Yeah. We could also call it tier 3. Is what we could call that. kidding. Love everybody in tier 3. Also, Magusi, thanks for the raid, dude. I think that's we shit on tier 3 so much. You guys are amazing. It's all just fun and laws, I promise. Magusi, thanks for the raid, dude. I think that's raid like number 10 or 15 today. This is insane. Insane. Yeah, I personally, so Pogs, this is an idea that Boots gave me, and I would like to run with this because it was really freaking good. Pogs, I don't know if you noticed that I've been doing a couple of these 1v1 show matches, and obviously, those two boys in the bottom left corner are about to do one. And obviously, Boots is going to win.
That is not what you said earlier.
That's exactly what I said. What are you talking about?
He said you were trash.
There's no incident reports in 1v1.
Yeah, exactly. You can just run it, dude. Who cares? Literally doesn't matter, bro. Hey, Wally, your wife even says that you suck, so, I mean, you're going to get screwed for sure.
I mean, is that, with how you know her, is that surprising?
No, not even slightly.
She's over here laying on the couch in her damn pajamas. Being a lazy bum.
Yeah. Probably get off your ass and start playing some F1 and, show these kids how it's done. No, so Pogs, I'm gonna have like a little sign up sheet, and I want people that want to go and do it on some like Wednesdays and Fridays to go do some 1v1s with each other within the league and also without the league, and I feel like it would be a nice little way to get some more people involved with it too.
Yeah, I've always been supportive of whatever folks want to do through the community or to help out or to generate excitement or anything like that, right? So I have what this is why I always tell folks, I have what I can manage within the league. It's a lot, right? There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. But anything that folks want to do, I'm always supportive of. So if you ever have any ideas, obviously you're always anybody, you punter or anybody else, you guys are always, welcome to reach out to me. I can try to help facilitate any way I can. I like the one-on-one things. I haven't caught a lot of them. I've seen the matchups, which is kind of fun, like just to see who's battling out. If we go to like extra things that we could be doing in the league, or things that people seem to like that aren't too taxing time wise. I'd really like to bring back, at some point, and probably it's possible this season. I'd love to bring back a few more league versus league matchups. I think we had even though the league we raced the last time was playing fucking demo derby.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were what, the BRL or BCRL bumper car racing league.
Yeah, more or less. But
Something like that.
like I know that brought a lot of that brought us all together, right? Like where
Mhm.
everybody's rooting for for us and for our teams and our guys, and that that's a really good way to unify the league. So like that's an idea that I'm in a I'm in a Discord server with all the with like some of the other major North American leagues, with the owners and admins in those leagues, and so it's definitely something that's a possibility. Folks reach out from time to time. It's a little hard to coordinate, but I know that that's something that guys around here really liked. There's obviously there's some other things that folks talk about all the time. Folks definitely want there's it seems like there's a big support for some type of realistic league, be that like a no traction, 100% like full quality, things like that.
Yeah, basically just all the sweats get together.
Right. So there's definitely a huge, that's something that gets asked for quite a bit. I still have in my head that I would love to do, at some point, and it might not happen this season, but I would still love to do some type of um, experimental F1 2.0 that wasn't quite like what we had before, but maybe a little bit some things like I would love, because there are so many different rules, so many different things you could do with teams and that sort of thing that might be fun. But the problem is, but what we always end up going back to is we don't want these side things to affect what we have going on Sundays. Sundays are always going to be the primary focus. Like you're not going to, if you're doing, next, if you're doing a League V League or a experimental league or something else during the week, you're not going to get that same feeling as when you line up on the grid on Sundays. And I think a lot of folks know what that, you like. It's even for me right now. You still get nervous for a Sunday race. I've never in other leagues. I used to race and I didn't really have that same feeling. But Sundays and MRL just feel different. So I always want to keep that as the special, as the main, as the big thing for the league, right? So
agreed. Yeah, I've been wondering that because I'm in a couple other leagues too, and just start racing here and there, and I do a little bit of commentating for DNCRL, and I don't know what it is about the racing within Moose, but it's so exhilaratingly fun. What's up?
Fine.
Cut out one more time. Say it one more time. Oh my gosh, you keep cutting out every single time you talk. I'm just not even a joke too. That's the funniest thing about it. Wait, start saying some words and then say what you're gonna say.
Terrifying.
Oh, there he is. Yes, terrifying. Exactly. That's it. But terrifying in a fun way, because you never know what's going to happen, but at the same time, you know that you're going to have a really fun time while you're in it. Except if you're Wally and crash out all the time. But otherwise, you're going to have a great time. And yeah, it's just something special, man. It's a lot of fun. Well, hey guys, that is we're at 7 o'clock, so that's about the end of the little media show tonight. Because I know Boots, you got to run home and get ready for your 1v1, huh? Are you guys ready for it? Are you?
You're
pumped?
Unplug some stuff. Controller.
Well, guys, Pogs, thanks for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule, writing business plans for Fortune 100 companies to come and hang out with us and us plebes and do some media work. And Wally, Boots, thanks for joining too. I appreciate it a ton.
Yeah, happy birthday, Pun.
Thanks.
Everybody else, see you on Sunday. As always, reach out if you need anything. Feel free to holler.
Sounds
See you,
good.
boys.
Later. Wally, Boots, I'll see you guys in 15-ish minutes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Come on.
I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.
Bye.